We're talking about a pocket of rotation that was near Cottage Hill, that was just south of the radar, but now it almost looks like where we have that pocket is actually south of Interstate 10. So along this line, we're not talking about those extremely long-lived tornadoes that will be on the ground and last for a long time. These line of thunderstorms can produce very rapid spin-ups as it pulses really quickly. Looks like it might have caused debris maybe in 2 different instances. So while this storm might not be producing a tornado now, it is capable.
The Michael forecast, Michael will likely still strengthen somewhat, but again, to what extent and really not sure. Right now, winds of 125 miles per hour is forecast. The forecast cone represents where Michael can go, and the center of the storm can go, not where the entirety of the storm can go. So it can take a more easterly approach near Apalachicola, or it could take a westerly approach near Destin. If this was a perfect forecast, then the center of the system would go towards Panama City. But again, there is still some uncertainty with this, and the forecast cone doesn't represent where all the impacts can be felt, because if Michael takes a more westerly approach, then the News 5 area would see more impacts, but if it takes more of an easterly approach, with us being on the west side, get more of that north wind, we would feel less impact.
This is a confirmed tornado. If you are in this area, you need to be getting into your safe spot now, into your room, away from windows. And if you're in this area, also if you have a helmet, put on the helmet. Might sound a little bit silly, but head injuries are a real thing when it comes to flying debris. Doesn't matter what form the winds come in, folks. If they're strong enough, even if they're going straight line or if they're spinning, they can produce damage.
Let's go ahead and start the forecast model about an hour from now, 11:45. The forecast model kind of struggling where the center is, but I'm going to focus your attention on a few other things, because as this moves inland, we'll have other things that we'll need to watch. This is 1:30 in the morning. We'll likely still have those feeder bands continuing to move in. And on the north side of the circulation, we'll see heavy rain. So if you're in George County, Greene County, Washington County, you still can see heavy rain, and those feeder bands will continue to set up. And notice where those winds are coming from. This is tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the morning. We still could be having surge at the coast at 4 o'clock in the morning as the center continues to move off to the northwest, because those winds, they're going to continue out of the south, and those feeder bands will continue to move in from the Gulf of Mexico.
Possibility to produce some hail as well, and you can look at the hail estimate. Now, this normally lags behind about 5 to 10 minutes. So where you see this hail core right here, it's likely a little bit farther down to the southeast. This hail estimate showing 1.7 inches. That's well above golf ball size hail. You're likely not seeing this size hail reaching the ground. However, it's likely producing hail of around 1 inch that is reaching the ground. That can produce damage, that can cause damage to windshields. You do not want to be outside if this storm is approaching you. So
if you're near Wynwood Lane, you need to be getting into your safe spot near Sundial Boulevard, near Ventura Boulevard. So I can't emphasize enough, flash flooding will continue to be a concern. Another concern with feeder bands, tornado watch. That will go until 4 o'clock in the morning. That's Mobile County eastward across to Okaloosa County. Not saying it's not a possibility elsewhere, because the main concern is right along the coastline with a slight risk for severe weather, which is level 2 out of 5, meaning it's possible. The rest of the News 5 area, marginal. Level 1 out of 5, meaning a small chance, but a chance nonetheless. This is happening during prime commuting time. If you haven't left your home just yet, and if you're in Mobile and Baldwin County, now is the time to still stay inside.
Rabbit Creek Road, Overton Road, Pitt Road, we've already said all of these. But if this storm is producing a tornado, if I'm saying these streets, or if you know of anyone that lives on these streets, call, warn others to let them know that they need to be getting into their safe spot as quickly as they possibly can.
All eyes are on the tropics this evening, so let's go ahead and just break it all down. We are tracking potential tropical cyclone number 7. It's a mouthful, but all you need to know is this is the disturbance that we have been watching near the Bahamas. It is a potential tropical cyclone because it is likely to become either a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Potential tropical cyclone also allows the National Hurricane Center to issue track advisories and also watches and warnings.
But if you're in Barlow Bend and even on the western side of Monroe County near Purdue Hill, Manistee, and also towards Frisco City, you need to keep a close eye on this storm.
First Alert Storm Team Forecast.
And good evening, Gulf Coast, and happy Friday. Throughout most of today, we got through without having to worry about any rain, but now we are tracking a few light showers in the northern half of the News 5 area, mainly along the Highway 84 corridor in Clark County and areas north, Coffeyville, Thomasville getting some light rain, and some sprinkles in the northern half of Washington County. As we turn the page towards Saturday, The southern half of the News 5 area, Escambia County, Alabama, all included in a flash flood watch that begins tomorrow afternoon that will run through tomorrow evening. Because as we go through tomorrow, a storm system from our west will be moving across the Gulf Coast. We'll see heavy rain and thunderstorms, and with all the rain that we saw last weekend, flash flooding is going to be a possibility. Before we get to that, though, let's go ahead and talk about what we had today. We had some beautiful skies this morning as we look outside from the USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park. Through the day, mostly blue skies throughout the early half of the day, but as the day went on, we saw clouds increase from our west. And we're also seeing a few showers move in from our west. Currently at the USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, our temperature sitting at 53 degrees. Our dew point temperature still in the middle 30s. But before too long, our humidity and dew point temperature will be going up. Overnight lows along the I-10 corridor, close to 50 degrees. The farther northeast you are, if you're in Evergreen or in Jay, you'll likely see temperatures in the middle 40s. We'll go with a low of 49 Mobile, 50 on Dauphin Island, 50 degrees in Gulf Shores over towards northwestern Florida, 47 Milton, 48 Cantonment, 47 Molino, 50 degrees in Gulf Breeze. Go with a low of 53 in Destin and 46 degrees in Crestview. Let's start our forecast model. 10:45, mostly cloudy skies, a shower here or there. The rain chance throughout the overnight around 20%. As we approach tomorrow morning around daybreak, there will be a few showers likely in our Mississippi counties, but rain chances at 6 o'clock in the morning will still be fairly low. Then that storm system approaches. By noon, we'll see showers and thunderstorms moving in. If you're west of I-65, at this time, you'll likely already be getting rain. Pockets of heavy rain, thunderstorms with some gusty winds at times. Then around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just about all of the News 5 area will be getting wet weather. And you can see from the oranges and the reds, heavy rain will be a possibility. And then into the evening, most of the rain will move east of I-65 and will be in the Florida Panhandle. It won't be until the overnight that we start to see the rain begin to move out. If you're west of I-65, you can expect anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain. East of I-65, 2 to 4 inches of rain. But with all of this, in a few local areas, we could see more than that, which is again why we do have that flash flood watch. Also, right along the coast, there is a marginal risk for severe weather. That's level 1 out of 5, meaning a small possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. Stay weather aware tomorrow, but again, the main thing that we're watching out for is the possibility of flash flooding, the wind threat, and the tornado threat on the low side. But again, just stay weather aware. You can do so with the News 5 free weather app. Tomorrow, a 90% chance you're going to need your Greener Phillips umbrella. So for tomorrow afternoon to the evening, stay weather aware. But past tomorrow night, we're clearing and cooling, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're back to winter-like temperatures. Stay with us. Sports is coming up next.
Our coverage of Alberto continues. While we have not felt the direct impacts of Alberto just yet, at the beach, the surf has been rough. Here's meteorologist Thomas Geboy to talk about the high risk for rip currents we've had the last few days. Thomas?
Yeah, Roseanne, over the last couple of days, the risk for rip currents has been high, and you've probably been thinking that we've been sounding like a broken record, but they're nothing to take lightly. Here's a little bit of the science and possibly how to spot a rip current. Anytime something enters the Gulf, the risk for rip currents will begin to go up. By Thursday, a few beaches were flying red flags, and today some beaches are flying the double red, meaning the water is off limits. Here's the basic setup of a rip current with the help of NOAA. Typically, a rip current is a narrow channel that is flowing against the waves. That is why you really don't see too much wave action in the heart of this example. Now adding dye to the mix, you can see it starts very close to the shore and gradually begins to work out. While it may look like it's moving slow, rip current speed is typically faster than an Olympic swimmer. The way to break a rip current is to swim parallel to the shore, and once you break away from the current, then swim to shore. So here is Orange Beach earlier today. You can see a lot of people at the beach, but can you see the likely rip current? We were looking at a lot of the cameras today, and there were a few instances where it was possible. Here's one. You can see an area of minimal wave action. You can actually see some of the water being pulled out. It doesn't last too long, but it's nothing you want to be caught in. The risk for rip currents will remain high even after Alberto moves away from the Gulf of Mexico because of some swells. Hopefully by midweek, things will begin to ease. Always treat the Gulf with respect, and remember, when in doubt, don't go out.
So anytime that there's the chance of rip currents, which is all the time, always be careful, and it might surprise you, but rip currents are actually the #1 hazard when it comes to weather-related for death. So always treat the Gulf of Mexico with that respect. But for more information on rip currents, you can head over to our website on WKRG.com, and you can also head over to the National Weather Service and Mobile's website as well. They have a lot of great information. Roseanne?